briefly about my personal view about the prospects of bioeconomy in the Russian Federation. So, our new presidency and our government have put forward ambitious targets for the development of Russian science. Fundamental and applied science should be at the core of any modernization strategy. As a scientist, we understand this quite clearly. And this was re-verified by Mr. Putin, who spoke recently in this audience in the General Assembly of the Academy of Science, when he stipulated that the time of survival of the Russian science is over, and we are looking forward for the rapid development of our scientific base. And these are the figures. The current spending is only slightly above 1% of gross domestic product, and while it should be increased by 50% in the next several years and more than doubled by 2030. The funds that are funding fundamental research, the Russian Fund for Basic Research and for Humanitarian Research, will be dramatically increased and will reach 25 billion rubles in several years. And to monitor the progress of the Russian science, it is suggested to follow the citation of the Russian-based papers in the databases, and it has to be increased by slightly above 2% at present to 3% by 2020. So another document that has been recently endorsed by the government at the end of 2011 is the strategy of innovative development of Russia. It's a big document. These are just a short extracts from the document articulating wordings about the biotechnology and bioeconomy. It says that biotechnologies are of importance for the Russian Federation, and it's further verified that 10 out of so-called 34 critical technologies of Russia are somehow related to biotechnology. Another important development of the recent months was the establishing of various technology platforms in different areas in this country. And again, this document sends us to the technology platforms in the field of biotechnology, biomedicine, and bioenergy, saying that this is very important for the modernization of the Russian state. So all over the world, the developed economies are building the new economy foundations, switching from using the fossil fuel as a cornerstone of the economy to the renewable biomass. And we're monitoring how the world moves from the traditional economy to the bioeconomy. Europe, this spring in February and March, unveiled an extremely ambitious program that is calling for the bioeconomy for Europe, and that is concerted action of several departments of European Commission. That is politically driven document. It has a very concrete roadmap that shows how Europe will move from using the fossil fuel gradually transform its economy into using different forms of renewable. And it sets up very visible and very clear targets for substituting oil-based products, for example in chemistry, by the products, fuels and so on, based on renewable biomass. Another important development comes from across the Atlantic. In April, the presidency of Obama announced its own national program in bioeconomy. It's called National Bioeconomy Blueprint. It combines biopharma and biotechnology, and is also very comprehensive, detailed document that articulates how the United States will build its new economy and how they will progress along these lines. So that means, fortunately, Russia didn't fall aside of this mainstream, and in April, Mr. Putin signed the so-called coordinated program of biotechnology development in the Russian Federation to 2020. It took several months to draft this document, and it is the first document of such kind, of such profile, that clearly stipulates that Russia requires biotechnology, that Russia requires biotechnology, and will also move along this line in their economic development. The main feature of this program is that it's a vision document. It covers the horizon up to 2020, and it is a very complex document that combines different areas ranging from biopharmaceutical and biomedicine through industrial biotechnology and agrobiotechnology to marine technology. So it's really a huge, ambitious program. And it has an action plan as well. The program calls for drafting more than 30 different reports of different scale to the government, and it also calls for important changes in technical regulations and standardization to make the bioproducts more competitive against traditional ones and to create markets for the bioproducts. And the program is rather ambitious. The main goal is strategic goal is to reach 1% of bioproducts by 2020 and to hit the 3% ceiling by 2030. That is more or less in line what OECD guidelines tell us. They are calling for 2.5% to 3% of bioproducts by 2020. So the program will stimulate and develop already existing priority markets, and in Russia it's agrobio and food, and look for establishing new areas such as associated with industrial biotechnology. And that could be regarded as a roadmap for initiation of bioeconomy development in the Russian Federation. The program is called coordinative and complex program. What does it mean? It means that it's more or less a protocol of intent. There is no direct funding associated with this program. So this program has to be translated into different other programs of other ministries, like Ministry of Agriculture, Ministries of Industry and Trade, and so on. So we have to allocate resources to fulfill all these ambitious targets, to draft operative plans and roadmaps. Again, I would emphasize that we have to change dramatically sometimes the legislation. Only this will pave way to the bioproducts up to the market. An important dimension of the program is the stimulation of the original initiatives, that is, original so-called bioclusters. And right now, in the government, there is an initiative to establish about 10 different high-technology clusters, and some of them refer either to the biopharma or to the biotechnology, and the decision has to come out in several weeks. The program couldn't come to this, but if not, the presence, establishment of these 3 technology platforms who decisively contributed to the drafting of this program. And the program has been prepared with the help of the technology platform Medicine of the Future, that is focused around Presidium and State Medical University, the technology platform of bioenergy, and the coordinator is the Kurchatov Institute, and the main work has been done by the technology platform of biotechnology, Biotech 2030. That is the founders of the This technology platform is our leading university, Moscow State University, and one of the biggest state corporation, Russian Russian technologies. If you look how this, for example, this Biotech 2030 technology platform is structured, we'll see that it's very diversified. It comprises forestry, food, aquaculture, industrial biotechnology, agrobio, and so on. And that is a combination of individual technology platforms. And technology platforms in the Russian Federation are more or less the replicas of the well-established European technology platforms. But we see that in Europe, now there is a move towards clustering of related platforms and sub-platforms, that is, for example, the platforms that is associated with the building of bioeconomy unite their efforts and cooperate, and that is the new instruments that European Commission introduces to boost biotechnology development. So we are more or less on the same route. Our platforms, that is a combination more or less of the European individual technology platforms. Selected priority areas that are supported by technology platforms, technology platform Biotech 2030 are also very diversified by definition because it is composed of sub-platforms, and we pay attention to the biorefinements of third, second, and third generation, platform chemicals, bioplastics, biocatalysis is very traditional to Russia. Valorization of waste is very important for Russia as well as the rest of Europe. Pulp and paper is a vital sector of the Russian industry, and of course different foods and feeds, including functional foods. So what is the way forward? How we should use this instrument, having on the table this Bio 2020 program and having this technology platform in the area of bioeconomy and life sciences. So, still on the agenda, the bioeconomy should become a national priority. It should be understood by rank and file and by the elites, by the decision making. And we have to do our best that the Bio 2020 is implemented and not just rest on the table as a piece of paper. Our technology platforms should be properly integrated. Our technology platform should be properly integrated in the state decision-making mechanism at all levels, federal, regional, and ministerial and sectorial levels. The strategic research agenda formulated by this technology platform should be used while crafting federal and regional programs of different levels. Technology platform should provide stimulus for biotech business. It should show the way how the markets for biotech products should be created. And there are several instruments, major instruments that are currently discussed. They are not new, they are used in all other economies. That is a policy of state procurement as an instrument to develop markets for biotech products. We all know that the biotechnology development in all the regions of the world was heavily supported by the state policy, especially at the initial phase. It is very crucial, and Russia is not an exception. We have to stimulate businesses that introduce novel biotech products and to stimulate outdated ones with all the mechanisms we have, including technical regulation and standardization. Initially, usually, when the biotech products is just entering the market, usually it's more expensive than the traditional one, and we need to create a special environment, at least at the initial phase, for the bioproducts to penetrate the economy. And of course, the regional development, regional dimension is very important for such a country as Russia that spends a lot of time zones And we have to support biotechnology not only around big cities like Moscow or St. Petersburg, but especially in Siberia, in the south of Russia, and so on, in the region where we have the raw base, either in forestry or in agricultural products and so on. And just a few words about possible cooperation with the European Commission over these lines. So, life sciences and biotechnology was very highly visible during the FP7, and it should stay the same high priority for the next program to come, that is Horizon 2020. We have to verify that biotechnology, bioeconomy is one of the highest priority between cooperation with Russia and the European Commission. So we have to try to develop joint agenda of the programs like Horizon 2020 and our Biotechnology 2020 programs. We have to determine topics of interest for the future programs to come, as we have done it previously for the FP7, and we have a very successful record on this joint project, and Alfredo has already mentioned several of them that to be propagated to the new program as well. Russia is interested in the different demonstration activities, because we're also, at least technology platforms and our businesses, looking for the different sorts of biorefineries, demonstration biorefineries, and that is, as you know, also on the agenda of the Horizon 2020. We will be looking forward, and it was further emphasized by the Copenhagen Declaration of Bioeconomy in Action for Europe. It underlines the importance of the demonstration plant and scaling up facility. So it could be a topic of joint interest of these two big ambitious programs. And of course, we have to capitalize on our very good record of joint projects in the FP7. But we have to move from the cooperation on the project basis to further to program basis. Of course, it doesn't mean that Russian scientists or Russian teams are banned from the participation in the consortium of the future consortium of the future European programs. But the more productive way, at least from my personal viewpoint, is combining the resources, not very small resources that we have here in Russia accumulated within the federal program, and to become these programs to be the part of the bigger European efforts. And we have a very nice instrument for this that is called ERONET, that is a tool to join national programs together. And right now, we have a satellite event with our symposium that is a meeting of ERONET on industrial biotechnology that was prioritizing different projects that were submitted by the participants of this ERONET. And I'm happy to say that some of these projects originated from Russia as well, and Russia participates. That is a pilot project for Russia. And one of the agencies, federal agencies that participates, contributes to this project is we know as a supporting fund, that a fund for assistance on small and intermediate enterprises. And it is important that not only the supporting fund joins this mechanism, but it is joined by the other holders or stakeholders of the Russian federal programs, like the Russian Academy of Science, Russian Academy of Medical Science, Ministry of Education, and so on. That is a very straightforward, a very efficient mechanism to support our Russian best laboratories competitive on the international basis. And probably that's all that I wanted to communicate, that I'm sure that the future of the Russian economy and the future of the European one and the rest of the world is green. Thank you.
Thank you.